Alright, in order to talk about the transformations, I'm going to rewrite this as log of x over log of 0.8. If we were to talk about transformations of ln x, I'd just write ln x over ln 0.8. Doesn't matter if you're logs or natural logs. I'm going to rewrite this as 1 over log 0.8 times log of x. Remember that x over 3 is the same thing as 1/3 x. Now for just a second I'm going to talk about log of 0.8, which is the same thing as log base 10 of 0.8. So I kind of need to know, what does this do in order to decide my transformations. So I'm just going to do a few examples and see what you think. So if I did log, remember I'm going to change this to exponential form. So if I did 10 to the what gives me 0.8. Well, if I do 10 to the 0, that gives me 1. If I do 10 to the 1, that gives me 10. If I do 10 squared, that gives me 100. My numbers are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So this question mark cannot be 0, and it cannot be a positive number. What if I did 10 to the negative 1? Well, that gives me 1 over 10 to the 1, which gives me 0.1. If I do 10 to the negative 2, that gives me 1 over 10 squared, which gives me 1 over 100, which gives me 0.01. Alright, so in order for this to work, my question mark has to be between 0 and negative 1 because of my final results. 1 and 0.1. 0.8 falls in between. So therefore my question mark has to fall between 0, has to be less than 0, and let's rewrite that so that makes sense. Ooh, let's not use that one. Just gonna mark that out. So my question mark, in order for this to make sense, has to fall between 0 and negative 1, or rather probably negative 1 and 0. So log of 8, log base 10 of 8 falls between negative 1 and 0. So because it's negative, I know that this is going to have a reflection. Alright. Now an example of a number that's between there would be like negative 2/3. When I put negative 2/3 into the fraction, that would give me 1 over negative 2/3. What really ends up happening is this gives you negative 3 over 2. So then really negative 3 over 2 really becomes a bigger number. So then I'm going to have a vertical stretch by a factor of 1 over log 0.8. And there are your transformations.